Hey, welcome to the ground floor living room. New windows. Just admiring them again. It's made such a huge difference having all this light in here. These ones in particular, I'm just really stoked about just the contrast between this gorgeous these new windows with new woodwork in this otherwise rather rustic environment. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's going to become less rustic over time, but as I've said many times before, I want to preserve some of the rusticity. I think that kind of is what makes this place for me. So there's been some developments. Yesterday, I mean, we're in this hardcore hectic period at work. But my role's kind of been slowing down. So yesterday, I literally had nothing to do. And then I got a message from my plumber who's returned from California. And he was just like, "Oh, are you going to be home today? Because I want to do some stuff." And I was like, "I am going to be home today." And so I skived off from work. I bailed and I came straight. I went home, ate some food and then came here. And we did plumbing stuff and I did electrical stuff and in between helping him dig and things. So I'll show you what we did. So that was awesome. Good 4 or 5 hours yesterday. And then the same thing happened again today in a strange sort of way. I got a message from my supervising Ford manager guy, and I'd been on the shop floor taking a walk, and he said, "You can't be seen on the shop floor wearing shorts." And he said, "You need to vacate. We don't want there to be a thing." So people have been cracking down on safety stuff, and again, I had nothing to do today. My work took 45 minutes this morning. So I was not sad about that, and I said, "Yep, no worries, I'll get out of here. I'll come back tomorrow in proper attire." And he was cool about it, and everything's great. So I came back here to the house to finish off the things that I started yesterday, and got some more stuff done. And it's been just bodacious. So here's the missing floor in the bathroom. That's actually one of the next things that's going to happen, is sheeting that floor up for a multitude of reasons. But the action has been in the basement. So let's go and have a little look, shall we? Walking down the stairs in the dark. Okay. So, achievement unlocked. Basement columns finished. Beam. Pretty level, really level. I'm really happy with it. The floors upstairs seem better. Upstairs seems better too. Spotted some other things that need to happen up there. Primarily that beam over the living room where I just was. That's the number one culprit for the sags in the top floor. So down here is done and it feels amazing. Look at these things. Lovely red boys. Pretty cool. In some cases, I have just dug down to the original footings, put it on there. I'm going to clear this dirt away and then pour concrete. So these columns, the way they work is you adjust them with this big threaded bit and you whack that crossbar with a hammer till they're nice and tight. And then you fix them with bolts, lag bolts or screws into the timber and into the concrete. You can do that, or what is also up to code for the base is to pour concrete, to fill this with concrete up to there, to basically concrete in the turning mechanism, rendering them permanent. So I'm going to do that in the cases where I can, where it's low enough for me to do that. In other cases, I have poured new concrete like this, set a flagstone, and then put the column on top of that. And in this case, I'll actually lag bolt the column base into the flagstone, and then the concrete floor will probably just cover this. You'll still be able to see a little bit of that, but I can trim that out. Did you see that okay? I'm a terrible cameraman, I'm sorry. So yeah, all new columns. I can start like filling these holes in, and that's about it for like in-ground stuff at this end of the basement. So I can start getting rid of these piles of dirt, using them to fill these holes back in, and then concreting over the top as need be. And then the idea, I guess, is to start kind of emptying the basement from, well, not emptying it, but just like tidying it and making it good from like that back end forward. So slowly clearing the basement. I'm not going to insulate and line it. People do that, and I might like a few years down the track, but that's not a priority right now. But to have this like floor clear and to have some workspace, I need some ventilation in here. I need a working dehumidifier and some extraction because it's pretty dank. Like cardboard boxes that spend any time down here end up a little soggy, which is not a good sign. So, you know, no one's living here, but it's going to be a cool workshop space eventually. So yeah, columns. Cool, eh? And next one is, this is a clue. Here we've got a lovely new circuit on the circuit board. 2 of 2. So this guy here is new. So put that one in. Did most of the rough electrical yesterday, in between helping Pez do plumbing stuff, which I'll show you after I've shown this. I was about to jump to that, but one thing at a time. So we did this. You see that? Yep. So that kind of goes up and goes through here, and then yeah. So if you can see that, this, there it is. This metal conduit. I can't remember the name. It's basically shielded wires, so you don't need a separate metal conduit. This is up to code, as long as you strap it. So we've got it fixed here. Here, I think every 16 inches is the minimum, or the maximum. Maximum you can have it fixed. So hopefully this is close. Shouldn't get pegged. It looks pretty good. I haven't measured it, just eyeballed it. Motion light. So we've got a motion light here in the foyer, in the rear foyer downstairs. And so it comes through there, goes up here, motion light, goes across, goes up to there. Second motion light, outside. Cool, eh? And we'll go up and we'll just test it so you can see it. Testing it. Red. There we go. Isn't that cool? So now I have not security, but just a sign of life. So little sneakers and ne'er-do-wells who are curious about things will come around here and there'll be a light turned on. It's not an aggressive, super bright light. It's red. Hopefully nobody thinks there's whores here. Is that still a thing? Does people still put on red lights if they're sex working? I don't know. I don't want to give people the wrong impression, you know. But yeah, lights, columns, plumbing stuff. Let's just. It's on test mode, so it still activates in daylight. But if you turn it off test mode and just put it onto 10 second or whatever, I put it on 10 seconds, it will turn off and then it won't turn back on until it senses that it's dark, so it's not like always. It's kind of smart. I mean, they were super cheap. I think these light fittings cost me like $20 a piece. But But I love the way they look. They're really cool. Simple, kind of a nice geometry to them. Easy to wire up for an amateur like me. So yeah, lights, and then plumbing stuff. So what we have here, so that there is a section of PVC that's been cut into a clay pipe. Now the old clay pipe runs down the length of the building and it drains the downspouts. So we cut this in and put a floor drain, so that's what that upright bit is. So now I've got a floor drain that will drain into there, and there's a P-trap down the bottom so that gases don't come up through there. Because this drain eventually connects to the sewer. So yeah, hopefully you can, I'm pointing it in the right direction. So floor drain, and also this thing here, which is called a backflow prevention valve. So that's what that is there. So this is my main sewer connection kind of line, and it comes down from, well, it did come down and it's going to come down from here, drains into this arrangement, which there's going to be a part going off to the left for a toilet here. That bit going off to the right goes to where there's going to be a laundry sink and washing machine and stuff over there. And then it drains down into here, which is where the backflow prevention valve is, and that's like an access thingy. I just concrete around that so I can get into it and replace it or fix it if it ever fucks up. And that basically stops the sewerage system if it ever backs up and overflows, like the city sewerage. If there's a major blockage somewhere, stops the entire city sewerage backing up through my sewer line into my basement or into my upper floors, which can happen. I mean, you get a blockage in a system like that, massive pressure, you got a bunch of like strangers turds just like storming your house, and if you don't have one of those bad boys, you're going to be overrun with strangers turds. No fun. And it's not fun for the turds either. I mean, you know, they're going one way and then all of a sudden they're going a different way to the way they expect. So they're not happy. So you've got a bunch of unhappy shit in your house. It's not good. So that's cheap insurance, and I think you have to have something like that in order to be like up to code, which I have to be cognizant of, I've discovered, because I got a business card left in my front door by BSEED, the Building Safety and Engineering Department of Detroit. They left a card saying, oh, yep, we see you've got lovely new windows. We need to do an inspection of your windows to make sure that they're up to code. So I called the guy, left his card, I called his mobile phone number, and he was really friendly. He was like, oh yeah, are they done yet? And I said, no, there's a couple that need to be done. And he said, well, yep, get them done, then give me a call and we'll arrange an inspection. So, nice. Kendrick, his name is. So I look forward to meeting Kendrick. Hopefully he's my inspector for everything. I want to develop a relationship for whoever my official is, so that, I don't know, just they're nice, these working relationships, even if there's also no, you're not going to be worse off for developing some rapport with someone who could make your life really difficult with the power that they have. Building inspectors, you know, they're reasonable people, and if you're a dickhead or they get the impression that you don't really care about what they think too much, they can and might sometimes just come down on you. But if they think you're a decent bloke and you get along and you're friendly and you demonstrate that you care, they might let some things slide, whereas otherwise they wouldn't. I mean, there's an amazing amount of discretion in a lot of these things, so look forward to maximising discretion and also quality of relationships as I do this funny thing. So yeah, that's it. Columns, lights, sewerage stuff. Very exciting. So here's to more getting sent home from works early. I'm actually thinking of taking. I really want to take like a month off. I don't have that much leave accrued, but I can do other work. I've got a second job that I can just ramp up doing handymanning stuff, which is working out really well. Like just with this one couple, I'm their kind of property manager. I've told you about it, I think. And so they've got 5 or 6 houses. But since I've gotten busy and since they've realised that they've got someone who can regularly do stuff, the list just keeps growing, and I'm getting kind of buried just in tiny little things for them, which is fine, except I just don't have the time to do it at the moment. So I'm contemplating quitting my job with Ford and getting rid of this like hour of driving every day. Either quitting or going on hiatus for a month or two. Basically, it all comes down to how long I can take off work and still retain my health insurance. Because in this lovely country, the most basic of health services is deeply commodified and marketized, and so you need health insurance to... Oh, my God. All right, I'm about to go off again. Let's just say it's pretty annoying that employment is tethered to not dying or being financially ruined by a medical problem. Hopefully one day this country wakes up. We'll see what it takes. Oops, almost about to go off again. I'd like to go on hiatus for a month or two if I can. It'll either be with retaining my job at Ford or quitting. Perhaps. We'll see. I have more than enough work with Megan and Matthew to make ends meet at least, and then it depends on their budget really at the end of the day, and then also I can just pick up other work through the Home Depot app as like a kind of Ronin handyman, which is pretty cool. I realise now what I'm good at, what is not worth my time, or what I really shouldn't be trying to do, so I'll probably cut down on the sheer number of things that I do and specialise a little bit. Hanging ceilings I really enjoy and get great results. And yeah, wiring up these lights, I've realised that electrical can be okay. Just got to be really careful. I don't have a pair of pliers yet that hasn't had like a hole burned in them from like snipping a live wire. Luckily the electricity in this country is like really mild, so... And I've got a voltage tester now, which I'm going to make sure that I use judiciously. That's it for now. Thank you very much. I love you. I miss you. These troubling times. It's okay. This country's going to shit though. Fuck. I am eyeing the exits. I want to get this house done. I want to get my US passport and then bail. But if things get super weird, which they could, I don't know, it's a huge country. They'll definitely get pretty freaking weird somewhere, if not multiple places. I doubt that the entire country is going to get super weird. That's a bit of a head fuck as well, just living in a country knowing that over there some really heinous shit is going down. There's a super odd psychic kind of mood in the country, for me anyway. I mean, you know, the whole universe is in here and it feels pretty weird right now. I don't know if it does for you. If it doesn't, happy for you, and keep it that way, because shit is fucking whack. Yeah, if I have to, I'll find some way of fleeing, but hopefully not too soon. Anyway, I love you. I miss you. Shout out Nick and Kelly, Mum, Pete, Gabs, Liam, David, and Dad, and Josh and Em. Pretty sad that I'll probably miss your wedding, but so stoked for you guys. That's going to be a rip snorter, and yeah, badass. I think that's it. AJ, if you're watching, I love you, bro. All right. See you again soon.